Good evening, colleagues, and welcome to the Project Management Guru series. Today, I'm continuing with the series on how to search for a job effectively. As to recollect what we did the last time, I told you your goal in this new approach that I'm teaching you about is to meet and establish relationship with the people in the know. More or less, you have to create a network of the people in the know, or create what we call a career tribe consisting of the people in the know. And you have to build this relationship and maintain it. So today I want to show you the practical steps that you need to follow to establish this career tribe relationship with the people in the know. Who are the people in the know? I told you the bosses, the staff of prospective organizations, people that are well connected, political activists, top business gurus, and CEOs of companies, industry leaders. These are people of influence. And these are the people you must meet and connect with. So your goal is to establish a relationship. First of all, find a reason to meet them, and then establish a relationship. And then after establishing the relationship with them, you have to maintain the relationship for the rest of your life. Okay? So the first step is you have to find a reason to meet these people in the know. Look for reasons to meet them. Look for reasons other than a job search. Because if you go to them purposely to talk about job, it's not very attractive to them. These are very busy people, and most of the time if you go talking about jobs, sometimes they tend to even avoid you if they are not in a position to help you. So look for a reason to meet and connect with these people, and meet and connect with them at their workplaces and no other places. Meet them at their workplace. And I'll give you a reason, a very good reason that you can use to meet and connect with these people. I want you to disguise yourself as a researcher, and you are in the process, or you are looking for an opportunity to conduct a research interview on any subject of mutual interest. So what I want you to do is that search for any research subject that you are fascinated or interested in, and start working on it as your personal research project, and use it as a reason to approach these people. So your main reason is not to go and look for a job and be genuine about it. Yours is to just approach them and solicit an opportunity to interview them or discuss your project work. Approach them as a researcher, researching a subject that concerns them. So this is the reason you must use to meet and connect with these people. If you use reasons like I'm looking for a job, they will not give you the opportunity. You may not even get opportunity to meet them. Remember, I told you meeting them should be memorable. So connect them at the level of their interest. And most of the time, it's best to present yourself as a researcher, and you are just conducting a research interview on any subject of mutual interest. The next step is you have to set up your research project. Find something you are passionate about, any interest or hobbies of yours, and start reading about them and preparing this research. It could be cutting-edge technologies in your profession or industry. It could be new techniques employed in your profession. It could be new trends affecting the industry, new ideas, or something that is thinking about your industry. What trends are threatening your industry? These are all areas which you could research on. Something that really interests you, that genuinely interests you, that maybe you've put in the background for a very long time. I can give you an example. I've been researching on a subject for a very long time, ever since I entered the consulting field. I've been working on AEC marketing, how to market architectural, engineering, and construction services. And I even took it all the way to the level of a master's, where I used it as my research thesis for my master's program. And as a result of that, I used this research project that I was doing to meet a lot of people in my career tribe. So look for a research project or any area of interest, something that really fascinates you, and develop a research project out of it. The next thing is, after you've developed the research project or the research subject, you have to prepare research questions that relate to the subject. And this involves you reading around the subject. You have to read, do a lot of literature review on this research subject that you have actually chosen. And prepare at least 20 research questions. Prepare research questions that borders around this research subject that you have chosen. Okay? It's very important that you get these questions right. Once you have these questions with you, the next thing is, who do you contact in your career tribe? Who do you contact amongst the people in the know that you have in your career tribe? Look for people above your level. Don't look for your colleagues. At least 2 levels higher than your corporate or skill level. So look for people who are at a higher level in your profession, not your colleagues. Okay? And look for people who have similar research interests. It's mainly for relationship building. If you go and meet him and you talk about things that interest him, that's when you become memorable and you become top of mind. So make sure that the research subject that you are pursuing is something of mutual interest to this particular individual that you want to contact. It's very important. Don't go and talk about things which he is not interested and it's only about you. No, look for something of mutual interest. So look for issues in your industry and create a research project around it. The reason why you should look for people of higher levels is they will give you a wider and broader perspective on the research subject. So look for people who are about 2 levels, at least 2 levels higher than your level or your skill level. Then you have to do a bit of research before you meet such an individual or such a person who is in the know. You have to research on him. You can go on the internet and do a bit of research on this individual for you to find out what are the things that are of interest or concern to him. Make sure you have this thing in your back pocket before you meet this person. Okay, so find out interests that are, research interests that are of utmost concern to this particular individual before you meet him. Then the next thing is to set up this research interview meeting with this particular person that you have chosen amongst your career tribe people. What you have to do is that go into your career tribe, the existing relationships that you have developed in your career tribe, the people you have met around you, the people you have met in your everyday life, the people that you have heard of, but you don't really know much about them. Go into this career tribe that you have developed and look for people that you like to meet. Look for old-time contacts, people that you know previously. If you go into your archives or into your phone, you find them. So start with the old people you already know, who you believe are people in the know. Okay? Make a list of these people. Make a list of all their names and their contacts. It could be friends, family, neighbors, co-workers, clients, professional association members, professional service providers, business owners, CEOs, social media, network, church people. Make a list of all these people, their names and their contacts and their places of work. You must also make a list of people you know at the places you frequent, like the gym, the coffee shop, the bar, tavern, people you've met in these places. Make a list of these names and contacts. So start with the people you know. And also, you can also make a list of your inherited networks, your spouse, your wife's networks, the people that your wife know. Make a list and their names and contacts. Your parents' networks. Your parents definitely also have a network, people that they know. Make a list of names and contacts. And then your kids' schools, there are people, some of the teachers that teach your kids. Some of them also have contacts. Make a list of all these names and contacts. So use your existing networks or your existing career tribe relationships that you have established. Then after you've developed this list, I want you to mind this list. Go through the list and pick a wish list of top 10 people. And remember, I told you the target is to connect with people in the know, for them to know you and you also knowing them. Okay? So look through the list, this long list you've prepared, and come up with a contacts, a wish list of at least 10 people. People of common research interests. So you've researched on them and you've realized that these are people that you can have a common research interest with. And people also of higher altitude, people of higher level. Okay, and come up with at least 10 people as your target. Before you meet these 10 people, draft an approach letter, an introduction letter. Draft an approach letter requesting for a research interview meeting. And I insist it must be a letter, not an email. Attach your CV to this approach letter and send it to these people. Don't use an email. The letter will make you stand out and be noticed. And most of the time, these people are busy. They don't have time. They have lots of emails that they scan through. Sometimes they don't even go through the emails. But the letter will draw their attention. The letter will actually attract them. So send this approach letter with your CV attached to these people. Send it by mail or by postage or whatever, but make sure they receive it. In your approach letter, make it very short. Be specific about what you are going to discuss with them. So you've prepared your research subject, talk about it in the letter. Talk about your interest in the research subject. Let this person know that they are the experts and leaders in the field. Let them know why you are coming to speak to them. And ask for only 5 to 10 minutes of their time. After you've delivered the approach letter to these individuals, these top 10 individuals that you have picked, meet them personally. Nothing can replace face-to-face meeting. Don't let emails, telephone calls, social media replace the human touch. Remember, your target is to establish a relationship with this person you are going to meet. Okay? So do a follow-up call on this approach letter you have sent. Call to set up a face-to-face meeting with this person. And do it as quickly as possible. At least when you send the letter, the introduction letter or the approach letter, maybe a few days after, call to follow up and set up a meeting with this person. Don't do the research interview or the research interview meetings over the phone, social media. Don't do it. Try and avoid it at all costs. Make it your target to meet this person. Meet the person, meet him in person. Keep following up until you set up the meeting. And once you set up the meeting, make sure you honor the meeting, because these are very busy people. They may not have time. And sometimes you may meet gatekeepers. Sometimes they are PAs, they are personal assistants. Make friends with them so that at least they will give you an idea of the availability of these individuals. Follow up, follow up, follow up. Don't give up. Be persistent. Don't give up on your pursuit to meet this person. Continue following up until you get the opportunity to set up a meeting with this person. Now, your aim is to meet as many people as possible in this career tribe that you have established. And your purpose is to conduct a research interview. That's all that you're going to talk about with this person. Don't go and talk about job. And I insist, don't talk about job with this individual. It can be a turn-off. He will start avoiding you. So approach this person, or maybe on the interview day, assuming he's giving you the chance for you to come over. When you go with your portfolio. Make sure you have a copy of the approach letter, your resume, your CV, and a set of 20 questions, research questions that you have prepared. When he gives you the audience, acknowledge, thank him for the opportunity to meet him, exchange some pleasantries, and then start your questions and answers. Start your research questions. You ask one question, he answers, he elaborates, leads to another question, and so on and so forth. So go through all the questions that you have with me and record the answers or write the answers as he speaks. But there's one last thing that I want you to do at this stage. After you've finished all your questions, you've exhausted all your research questions with this individual at this research interview meeting, there is one last thing I want you to do. We call it the resume slip question. You want to expose yourself now at this stage to this individual. You want him to know who you are. Remember, that's also your target. He must know who you are. So what you do is that take out your resume or your CV out of your folder and put it in front of him on his desk and tell him to peruse your resume or your CV to check if there's anything in your background which speaks to the research interest that you are pursuing. Tell him to advise you on this research interest and whether you have anything in your resume which can help you pursue this research interest as a career. And give him a few minutes to go through your CV. This is an opportunity for him to know who you are. Remember, you sent the CV earlier on with your approach letter, but maybe he never got the chance to have a look at it. So this is the chance that he's going through your CV and he's making mental notes of the kind of person you are in your background. After he's gone through, he will give you advice on what he has seen in your CV. Then ask for referrals. He might have some other connections. So ask for referrals to other individuals that you think can also help in the pursuit of this research work. Tell him to introduce you to these other individuals, maybe via emails, then he copies you. After that, express thanks to this individual. You can exchange business cards, and also collect his business cards so that you tell him that you are going to give him a follow-up update on the progress of this research. Then leave. When you leave, send a thank you email to him, thanking him for the time and the advice that he has given you. Now, it doesn't end there. Once you've interviewed this person on this research interest, remember, before you went there, whatever you discuss with him is something also of interest to him. And that helps you to stay on top of his mind. Stay connected to this particular person for the rest of your life. Don't just go cold. Follow up emails every 30 or 90 days. And I can assure you, once you establish this relationship with this person, once an opportunity comes up within his organization or within his department, he will give you a shout. This is how you establish the relationship. And you must do this to as many people as possible. Remember, he has given you a referral, and you have to go through the same process with these referrals. So you see, this particular individual, who is a top individual, he's one of the people in the know in your career tribe. You've established a relationship with this person through this research interview that you've discussed with him. He's giving you referrals. Definitely, he has connections with other people who might share a similar interest. Go and repeat the process with these particular people as well. And if possible, you can even establish a social media network of these people. I have done that on my WhatsApp platform, where I've put all my people in the know or I've put all my professional networks into a WhatsApp platform. You can do the same thing and put all these people you are interviewing into a social media network platform and keep communicating with them and let them stay on top of their mind. Okay, so this is how you meet them and establish a relationship with them. Then, as you keep interviewing these particular individuals that you've targeted, you develop your own career tribe, as I indicated. So before you realize, you have a portfolio of about 20 people, of very influential people in the know within your career tribe. And you must keep them and maintain your relationship with these people, because these are the people who are going to give you the job opportunities. It may not be just job opportunities, it could even be business opportunities. So maintain these people, nurture the relationship with these people that you've developed in your career tribe, and keep it for the rest of your life. Make regular contacts with these people in the career tribe. Keep the relationship active and vibrant. Sometimes, as I said, you can establish a WhatsApp platform or a social media platform and put all of them into this platform and keep communicating with them. Share interesting articles. Remember, you all share the same common research interest or the same common interest. Share articles with them. Share news, industry news with them, and nurture the relationship through constant contacts. Sometimes even volunteer to give them information that will help them in their businesses. Continue doing this and continue asking for referrals from these particular individuals. And I can assure you, as you continue doing this, the wider your career tribe, the better. So keep doing this. Let this occupy you. This business of interviewing people on your research interest, people of common research interest, and following up on their referrals and continuing the process and developing this group of people that you call a career tribe, people in the know, people of influence, or I'll call them your connections. Maintain this relationship, maintain this group, keep it very vibrant, and let this occupy you. And I can assure you, once any job opportunity pops up in the circles of any of these career tribe members that you have developed, they will give you a shout. And this is the best way to get a job. So what you've done is you've established a relationship with the people in the know long before an opportunity comes up. And I can assure you, within the next month or two, somebody will give you a shout. And this is what must engage your attention instead of going around responding to newspaper adverts to jobs that are stale. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is how you develop your career tribe. And you must have a very vibrant one. Don't just establish the career tribe, but maintain it through constant communication, sharing common interests with these people in your career tribe. So just a recap of what we've gone through. Find reasons to meet these people in your career tribe. Remember, the main reason that I want you to use to meet these people is not to look for jobs. Your main reason is to discuss a research subject with them. Tell them that you are a researcher and you are researching on a particular subject and you want to meet them and discuss or interview them on this research subject. And make sure the research subject you pick is something of similar interest to them. So what you have to do is that you have to research on this person on the internet and find out what his research interests are and see whether you can develop your research subject around his interest. Prepare research questions. Don't go to him unprepared. Have about 20 questions around your research subject. And once you meet him, before you meet him, send an approach letter, send an introduction letter by postage or whatever means. Add your CV to the approach letter. And then a few days after, follow up until you set up a meeting with this particular individual. And make sure the person you want to meet in your career tribe should be at least 2 levels higher than your skill level or your corporate level. Look for higher level professionals because they will give you a wider view and a better advice. And then look for research interests that are also of interest to him. Set up the research interview meeting. Follow up until you get a chance to meet this particular individual. And don't have too many of them. Just target at least 10 out of your career tribe that you know these people, you have an idea of what their interests are and where they work and their names and contacts. And then send an approach letter, attach your CV to it. When you meet them, it's strictly about interview. Don't talk about job. It's mainly about your research. You are just going to interview them about your research subject. So ask them the 20 questions that you want to ask them. But remember, at the end of the 20 questions, there's one last exercise I want you to do. Put your resume in front of them. That's why it's important that you meet him in his office. Don't agree to meet him at lunch or at a restaurant. No, never. Make sure you meet him at his workplace, in his office. Okay? Put your resume before him and give him just a few minutes for him to peruse your resume or your CV. And ask him one question. Tell him that has he found anything in your resume which talks to the research subject you are pursuing? And seek his advice on his resume, whether it is a very good research subject you are pursuing and whether you have talents on your CV which will help in this research work. After you've finished this last bit, ask for referrals and connections and repeat the process with these referrals and connections that he has given you. When you get back, express thanks, send a thank you email to him. But before you leave him, make sure you leave a business card, something that he can use to contact you. So always go there with your business card as well. And do the same thing for these referrals and connections that he has given you. Before you realize, you have so many of these influential people within your portfolio. And call this your core career tribe and nurture this relationship. Keep it active. Send them emails every 30 days or every week. Send them something of interest. Tell them about the progress that you are making on this research interest. Or you can even give them a call once a month just to update them on the progress you are making on this research work. And nurture this relationship for the rest of your life. Don't ever stop making contact with these people. Because even if you get a job, continue with this career tribe and nurture the relationship. Gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to me. I learned this thing from a career coach called Darrell Goney. He wrote the book, Never Apply for a Job Again. You can search for it on Amazon. The title of the book is Never Apply for a Job Again. It's a very good book. Try and get it. It was written by a career coach called Darrell W. Goney. He has other books which will help you in the development of your careers. Thank you for listening. And once again, don't forget to visit me on my Facebook page, #GCCJBCC, or visit my YouTube channel, JB Nate, and subscribe to my videos. It is free. And I wish you well in the pursuit of your careers. Thank you very much for listening and have a good evening.